I'm similar to the thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Now check this shit, I got the pack of Rough Riders in the back of the Pathfinder. You know the epilogue by James Todd Smith. I get swift with the lyrical gift. Hit you with the dick, make your kidney shift. Here we go, but I'm not domino. I got the funk flow to make your drawers drop slow. So recognize the dick size in these Coincatch jeans. I wear 13s, know what I mean? I fuck around and hit you with the Hennessy dick. Mess around and go blind, don't get to see shit. The next batter, here to shatter your blatter, it doesn't matter. Skinny or fat or light skinned or black, baby, I drop these. Beneath my me, screaming, I poppy. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but I only smoke blunts if they roll prop. But look, I got ya caught up with the drunk flow, fuck. I'm similar to the thriller in Manila. Honeys call me bigger, the condom filler. Whether it's stiff tongue or stiff dick, Biggie squeeze it to make shit fit. Now check this shit, I got the pack of Rough Riders in the back of the Pathfinder. You know the epilogue by James Todd Smith. I get swift with the lyrical gift. Hit you with the dick, make your kidney shift. Here we go, but I'm not domino. I got the funk flow to make your drawers drop slow. So recognize the dick size in these Coincatch jeans. I wear 13s, know what I mean? I fuck around and hit you with the Hennessy dick. Mess around and go blind, don't get to see shit. The next batter, here to shatter your blatter, it doesn't matter. Skinny or fat or light skinned or black, baby, I drop these. Beneath my me, screaming, I poppy. I love it when they call me Big Pop, but I only smoke blunts if they roll prop. But look, I got ya caught up with the drunk flow. Fuck taekwondo, I told a fofo. For niggas getting mad cause they bitch chose me, a big black motherfucker with G. You see, all I do is separate the game from the truth. Big bang boots from the Bronx to Bolivia, getting physical like Olivia Newt. Tricks up my click dick all day with no trivia. So give me a bankroll and a bag of weed. I'm guaranteed to fuck until I nosebleed. Even if your new man's a certified Mac, you get that H-Town in you. You want that old thing back? B-I-double-T-I-E with some new R-U-L-E. Notorious is known for busting in your E-Y-E. Baby, bitches know they love to hate me. How come you come, we come with backs and maybe. How close we came to coming together is crazy. How come you witnesses make similar faces? When y'all coming, y'all be crying like I'm killing y'all bitches. I know there's a bigger picture than the camera rolling. Cause I don't think y'all be knowing how this shit's unfolding. Back shots to the rear, got the Mac unloading. Gotta reload like every so often. Saying I got my swagger back. I'm looking like bitch, my swagger never left. Don't be so hard pressed to be impressed by these new rappers. They actors and the fact is, you want that old thing back. Like Scarface and Bushwick, Willie D, having nightmares of girls killing me. She mad because what we had didn't last. I'm glad because her cousin let me hit the ass. Fuck the past, let's dwell on the 500 SL, the E and J and ginger ale. The way my pockets swell to the rim with Benjamins. Another hund's in the crib, please send it in. I fuck non-stop, lick my lips a lot. Used to lick the clips a lot, but licking clips have to stop. Cause y'all don't know how to act when the tongue go down below. Peak the funk flow, really go. I got the cleanest, meanest penis. You never seen it, stroke of genius. So take off your Tim boots and your bodysuit. I mean the spandex and hit my man next. Sex get rougher when they come to the nut buster. Pussy crusher, black nasty motherfucker. I don't chase them, I replace them. And if I'm caressing them, I'm undressing them. Fuck what you heard, who's the best in New York? Fulfilling fantasies without that nigga Mr. Raw. Or tattoo, I got you wrapped around my dick. And when I'm done, I got the split.
What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Just a quick heads up. I'm going to be out of town for the next 2 weeks, so we won't be having any live streams. I know we haven't had many for the last month. I've been traveling, taking a break from just overall trading, tweeting, live streaming, everything. It has nothing to do with bear versus bull market. I literally, quite literally, played from here all the way to here is where I sold. And now I'm just kind of soaking in the victory, taking advantage of it, reinvesting money, maybe buying a house. So with all that said, guys, not that I'm going to stop live streaming. I'm just like, it's summertime. We got nice weather. We got a lot of trips planned. We got a lot of like vacations, family coming into town. So if you don't see a lot of me, that's why. Other than that, I should be live streaming or at least getting on a better schedule, like in the middle to end of July. All right, but let's get to business. What's up, Colin? How you doing? I've been telling Patreons the same thing. I'm amazed we V'd up. For those of you who were paying attention about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I was calling to buy at these two lows. I actually bought quite a bit of the S&P, or really SPY and QQQ. Both are up over 20%, which is pretty amazing. And again, a lot of that backs on the fact that the VIX was above 40 during that period. Just a quick refresher for those of you guys that might be new. Whenever the VIX is above 40, and this has been consistent throughout the SPX's history since the VIX being even open, every time we hit 40, it is at or near a market bottom. Is it the bottom? Oftentimes not, but it's pretty damn close. So with that said, it looked like a good time to buy. We were down 20% as well. I wish I would have bought more, of course, as the saying goes, but still bought enough to be reaping those rewards. So really nice to see. But as for kind of just straightforward analysis, I have two things on the table. One, we either hit all-time highs and start a range, or we break through all-time highs and head higher. I know that's, two possibilities. I'm not going to claim I'm right on either one if either happen. But I would like to see us range or even come all the way back down to like 5,200, so that way I can buy more. I still have an assumption that this big square will end up being our complete range before heading higher in the coming years. I think the market is overheated. I think that there's a lot of quote unquote fake money in the, or at least holding up the economy. So it would be nice to see that range to get back in, possibly see Bitcoin have a nice correction during that period. But until then, obviously I'm not buying anymore. I'm good, man. Bitcoin at 6818 resistance now, pretty crucial level. Depends on the time frame. I don't really watch fibs like that. I don't really get a lot of value from fibs like that, honestly. The dollar. So I know over the last couple months I've said, hey guys, probably not gonna use the dollar for analysis because of the whole tariff situation. We quite literally dumped. The dollar dumped. S&P the S&P 500 dropped. The Dow dropped. The Nasdaq dropped. Bitcoin dropped. Everything dropped at the same time. Why? Because your global economic factor of tariffs. It didn't matter what the charts looked like. Everything was going down. Now, and mind you, back then I said, hey guys, we're not going to look at the dollar until this kind of fundamental stuff is over with. So now I think that we're starting to exit that. So if the dollar wants to continue and kind of head lower, stocks, crypto, everything else should go higher. At least stocks. I'm still unsure on Bitcoin. I still think Bitcoin is moderately exhausted. And I hate to skip around like this, but just a reminder, guys, that I know the stock market is going up right now, but that doesn't always mean that crypto is going to go up with it. One of Bitcoin's largest corrections happened as the stock market continued higher. Yes, Bitcoin eventually made a slightly higher high, but this entire time the stock market went up while Bitcoin corrected 60%. So I wouldn't rule out a large correction in the crypto space in the coming weeks to months. With the dollar, clear as day. If the dollar continues down, everything else should continue higher. Again, should, emphasis on should. But if the dollar reverses and I think reclaims this 101.6 level, I think stocks and crypto will see that correction. So like for the S&P 500, for example, we talked about that range. And, if the dollar wants to head up and reclaim, I think we will get a much larger range before heading higher, or maybe, retesting all-time highs, heading much lower, making that range so then we can head up in the coming years. I don't think the S&P is like going to zero or anything like that, but I do think a much broader range could form, especially if the dollar starts breaking the 102, 105, and potentially 107 levels. As for total and a lot of these other charts, I still see lower highs on the horizon. Guys, mind you that Bitcoin and Total One specifically have not made a lower low in over 3 years. If you're one of those people, I'm going to say, I guess I'll say it when we get to Bitcoin. But this whole, I guess for the last 2 months, I've been looking and trying to identify signals of exhaustion, signals to sell. Are you going to call the exact top? Probably not. But when you're up 7x, especially with Bitcoin's up 7x from its bottom, probably ideal to take some profits or take some off the table. What's up, Yasser? How's it going, man? I'm doing good. We leave for Puerto Rico tomorrow night. Or no, sorry, early. Well, I guess technically early Wednesday morning. Excited for that. In total, too, I do have some more concerns about alts, guys. I'm not seeing alts carry the strength that Bitcoin is. The alt to Bitcoin charts still look relatively weak. So what do we have? We had a breakdown. Now we have a retest, primarily because of Ethereum and Solana, and I guess Link, because Link is now making lower lows, or Link to Bitcoin is making lower lows. So the altcoin space overall is still weak. And then Total 3, similar thing. We had that breakdown. We have a retest. Nice little bounce here. But still curious to see if we head down to local lows again before heading higher, potentially getting that kind of final alt season. Enjoy your trip, man. Well earned. Yeah, I will. It's never been to Puerto Rico, so it'd be a good time. And with tether dominance still ranging. I will put this back on here. This is, I guess I'll put Bitcoin bullish. So if this breaks down through this level, Bitcoin would be bullish. Obviously, if we break out here, Bitcoin is bearish. So kind of more in the middle. I guess we're leaning more bullish than bearish because we're hopping closer to support. But still kind of in this waning purgatory-ish level where we don't really know what's next. And again, my instincts tell me, guys, if you're not at least trying to take some profits right now, I think you're being foolish. And speaking of Bitcoin, again, the idea that we have not put in a lower low in over 3 years on a macro time frame with, again, similar issues that happened in 2021. You talk about volume, volume going down, price going up until we get to, well, really another high, putting in overbought stock, putting in RSI divergences. All of that is happening right now. So you have this volume has been trending down really since the last high, bottom to high, which is technically bearish price action. You have 3 levels of bearish divergence. You have overbought stock. Not to mention on the monthly, you're now developing another bearish divergence on stock. Yes, or excuse me, on RSI. Yes, stock, as it doesn't really have any issues, but we saw in the 2021 bear run that we were all the way down here when we peaked at 69,000. There's not really a major claim here that we can't do that again. So, again, another reminder that all of the signs from 2021 are right smack in your face. And a big thing with price action and volume in particular, if volume is trending down and price is trending up, it tells you that there are, one, that you're probably distributing, and two, that buyers are not willing to step in at current prices to push price higher, right? In my opinion, volume going down, price going up is a level of distribution where all of these institutions, all of these much bigger players are selling into any retail buying. My alts are worth less than they were 2 days ago. Yeah, alts are down quite substantially still. And they're likely going to continue going lower. Again, moving in now to Bitcoin dominance. I mean, I see absolutely no weakness other than a potential divergence forming if we continue higher. But guys, overall, this is another thing. It hasn't put in a lower low. It's been doing excellent, and this is why your altcoins aren't doing well. You know, you look at Ethereum to Bitcoin, and yeah, that was a great bounce a couple weeks ago, but we still haven't put in any level of strength yet. And then you look at another major altcoin like Link, right? Link to Bitcoin putting in lower lows in the last 3 years. Tau really struggling to hold and push higher. Fetch, very, very similar, right? Straight downtrend. Solana's doing, Solana to Bitcoin trying to break through lows again or potentially hold support, right? That is an option where we could get a double bottom here. I'm just not very favorable of that, especially with the way the Bitcoin looks. Especially. So if you were to ask me what's going to happen to alts over the next couple months, you know, could Bitcoin go up to 120, 130K? Yeah, I'm not going to rule that out. I mean, look, I sold primarily because I saw my levels of exhaustion. If they're wrong, they're wrong. It is what it is, right? I made it 500% on my investment. I'm very happy with that. But let's move beyond that. If Bitcoin moves to 120, 130K, what's going to happen to alts? I really don't think anything. I think Ethereum might be at 3,000 when that happens. But once that sell-off happens where, you know, let's say we hit 120, 130, or 115, whatever it might be, if Bitcoin then sells off, right? Let's look at it this way. Let's say Bitcoin goes to 115, right? That initial sell-off that happens, probably 20, 30%. I think alts, I think alts will stay pretty stagnant and drop, maybe make a lower low, maybe make an equal low. All of this money, I think, pours into alts, and we actually get a decent alt season. And decent relative terms, I think you might get a 3, 5, maybe 6x on some of these alts. Roman, what about the idea that the microstrat epoxy play will lead to another leg up on Bitcoin, the acceleration of companies on the stock market adopting Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin? What companies are buying Bitcoin? Because that same exact thing happened in 2021 and we dropped 60%. I mean, look, let's look at the facts here real quick. And I'm not trying to be a crypto hater right now. I've been doing this for a long time. Look at the facts. How many companies do you know, like, other than like the weird gimmicky stuff, how many stores can you go into and buy stuff with Bitcoin? Because I know of none. Or how many people do you know are going to the grocery store and paying for their groceries with Bitcoin? I have info of like 6 companies who are fundraising to buy Bitcoin, all shelf companies being bought. Okay, but here's the thing. In 2021, the same thing happened. Nexum bought, Tesla was buying, I think something with Microsoft was trying to implement. You had the car dealerships talking about, buying cars with Bitcoin, and that was all happening right up here. And look what happened. We dropped 60%. So, again, in my eyes, if you're a company, let's think like basic financial analysis right now. If you're a company, Fortune 500 company that's been extremely successful, you probably have a pretty good finance team. Who on your finance team are you trusting to buy an asset up at these prices? That is a terrible business decision. Like, I don't know a lot of your guys' backgrounds, and maybe you don't understand this, but in business, don't buy something at all-time highs. That is stupid, right? You at least look for a correction. You look for an opportunity to. I know the saying's gonna be, what if we never go back down again? Okay, but we will. Maybe we won't see like 50K again. Maybe we won't see 70K again. But I'm pretty confident we'll see 100K again. Maybe even 75. Maybe possibly 70. I think as low as 50. I don't think we'll ever go below 50 again. It's like all BS companies, like shitty companies. It's all people trying to make a quick bump, jumping on it. But the idea is they're all buying Bitcoin and raising millions to buy, so still demand. Okay, but again, you're ignoring the fact that the exact same thing happened at the top in 2021 and we dropped 60%. Like one of the biggest companies in the world, Tesla, is buying Bitcoin. And not only were they buying, but 2 months later, we quite literally dropped from all-time highs to local lows, about 60%. I don't think there's any longevity to these proxies, and I think it's dumb, but I still can't deny that demand is there. I don't believe that demand is there for Bitcoin. And again, I'm stemming this from my own personal experience. I invest with I invest with a couple different groups, like private equity groups. We do real estate. We actually just invested in a litigation case. We invest in different small businesses. There's one that does, this company we invested in, they sell like I can't give the company name because I don't want to be doxxed and I don't want any problems, but they sell like a pouch of liquor. It's infused. So we invest in stuff like that. I'm invested in a biotech company as well. So again, all of these guys, some of them, there's 3 of them are billionaires. These guys are investing in that, not in Bitcoin. And, I know some of you will say, oh, well, they just don't know what they're missing. Okay, maybe, but these are guys that are putting their money because they know they're going to make money. They're not going to buy a risky asset at all-time highs. I do know that some of them bought Bitcoin somewhere around here. They actually sold it somewhere up here, but they're not buying right now. People with money are not interested in buying. What about Trump buying? Where's the proof that Trump is buying? And also, Trump buying $1 million of Bitcoin is like you buying a 30-cent chocolate bar. That dude's family is worth billions and billions of dollars. BlackRock ETF demand has been up only since 80K. I think we have one more leg up, 130K, 150K, then crash. Okay, that's your opinion. I am not going to risk. I was not willing to risk my profits, and personally, I'm glad I sold because every single altcoin I sold is now lower than when I sold it for. Yes, is Bitcoin up? Yeah. Right? Bitcoin's up 10% from where I sold it. But every single altcoin is almost down 50% from where I sold. Unreal. Again, I don't think that demand is as true as you think. I think there's a lot of retail participants. I know they're talking about like Bitcoin and 401ks, which is kind of cool. But you have to remember, the BlackRock ETF, that's not BlackRock buying. That's BlackRock's customers buying. Yes, BlackRock has to supply the actual Bitcoin, which they're being paid back for. But that's not like BlackRock. Guys, you're talking about one of the most successful investment firms that the world has ever seen, and you're telling me they're buying Bitcoin at all-time highs? I just don't believe that. Like, again, my background, I worked for a hedge fund. I know when they're buying. Like, I don't want to say I know when they're buying, but they're not buying now. No one with any ounce of financial experience, and especially private equity, is buying right now. That is the dumbest statement I've ever. Not that you're dumb. I'm just saying, like, you got all these people on Twitter like, oh, BlackRock's buying and this and that and there's all this demand. Where volume is the lowest it's been in months, in almost a year. It's the lowest it's been in almost a year. What about the Fed cutting interest rate and M2 liquidity going higher? Well, when is that gonna, like, how do you know that's gonna happen? The Fed hasn't cut anything, and M2, let me see if there's an M2 chart. Does anyone know the M2 ticker? Is it literally this one? M2 money stock? I know what it looks like. Okay, this is it. So first of all, I see a lot of charts that look like this, right? Where they'll draw like this and keep going higher, like they know it's going to keep going up. How do you know it's going to keep going up? It's true. BlackRock ETF was high at the tops of the range in 2024. Yeah, but that demand could also be selling. You're just looking at volume. I've seen a stat that says big whales are net sellers in the last 2 weeks. Big whales have been sellers for the last year and a half. I'll draw it, but you're gonna have to look it up. You have like a graph, right? And you've got Bitcoin's price, right? I'm gonna try and draw it the best I can. So this is Bitcoin's price, right? You have addresses of, basically whales. Whales have been doing this. Retail has been doing this. What does that tell you? It tells you that retail is like one that tells me that we're probably in distribution mode, right? Whales are selling into retail. Right? What tells me is we're in distribution. In fact, again, this is not a shot at you, but how do you know that we're cutting interest rates? How do you know that M2 is going to continue higher? I don't believe that you do. That's like seeing into the future. No one can do that. I'm surprised Bitcoin is strong here. I thought 170K would reject, move down. I'm surprised we were pumping into CPI Wednesday. Feel like we just pumped. Yeah, I mean, look, generally we pump into an event like that, just a dump later. Altcoins have been compressing for 4 years, waiting to snip out the next cycle of expansion, liquidity, and easing monetary conditions. Once the market sniffs it out, it will get priced in. Also, QT is ending. Again, how do you know QT is ending? No one knows if QT is ending. Unless I'm wrong here. So this is interesting. Bitcoin's pumping a bit while we're on stream. Yeah, originally I had this. I was looking to buy this inverted head and shoulders, but we quite literally just pumped straight through it. Which is interesting now that I know that CPI is Wednesday. What sucks is like the Patreons were also looking for this trade too, and we ended up pumping, which is great. I just was hoping that we get down to 3.6, get a nice little 6% gain. I thought interest rates would bounce and markets would bar. Came down some, but they've been stagnant ever since. This stagnation is good for markets. This, obviously, if it comes back up, not the best. Seeing as what's funny is Bitcoin bottomed and interest rates had not topped yet. Kind of PA that gives you no entries, which is really annoying. I mean, yeah, but again, I'm not going to sit here and try and fight it. If I get a trade, I get a trade. If I don't, I don't. I'm not too worried about it. But yes, I would agree. It is very annoying. My problem is longing, especially now, is we're definitely near the end of the bull run, and everyone in the back of their mind hopefully knows that. The issue is, if you long something like this, where does it end? Because in a normal bull run, I mean, this could be the next setup for a next $20,000 move upwards. But my issue is where do we say, okay, take profits without missing, a potential leg higher, which obviously you don't know. I mean, realistically, if I was long anywhere within here, I'd be taking profits right now. I would not be. I wouldn't be shorting right now, but I would definitely be taking profits. It is funny how awful this PA has really been the whole bull run. Like in 2021, and in 2017. I mean, you look at these. I mean, we literally just went straight up the whole time. This has been just completely choppy. And for reference, the percentage moves here are 10 times what these are before they correct. You're short 108.5. Yeah, I'm not shorting anything yet, but check this out on the weekly if we close here. We've got another divergence set up. Give another local divergence amongst the overbought stock. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end it there. Appreciate the discussion today. With all of that, guys, I'm probably not going to be live, and I said this at the beginning of the live stream. I'm not going to be live for the next week or two. I'm going to be in Puerto Rico. I've been taking a lot of trips, and if you're wondering why, I guess I'll take a step back. If you're wondering why I haven't been live streaming as much, I've been taking trips. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now, live streaming and posting on Twitter, and I've never really taken a break. So taking advantage of this time, after quite literally playing, 90% of the bull run, buying here, selling here, absorbing that 500% gain. I'm taking my profits to the bank and taking a little break. So not saying I won't be live streaming. I'll probably be a little bit more consistent to the mid/end of July. But definitely for the next week or two, like I'm going to be traveling for the next week and a half, and then we get back, and I'm pretty sure it's almost the 4th of July. That whole 4th of July week, I've got a ton of family that comes in and either stays with me or stays with my parents. Then we have our big 4th of July party. Then I go back to... Bro is still trying to say bull run over. Oh my God, what a guy. Shake my head. I mean, dude, don't watch the stream. I again, don't care what you say. Then I go back to Virginia on a fishing trip. So by the middle of July, we should be pretty good. With all that said, guys, take what I say as you want it. If you think that buying right now is a great idea, I don't know